Hi there, my name is Madi and I'm a Colorado knitter. This is my YouTube channel all about knitting, making, what I've been up to the past few weeks. I am, per usual, all over the place, but I wanted to make sure that I podcasted today because I'm excited about everything I'm working on and I want to share it with you guys. If you're new here, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy. And welcome back to those who have been following me for a little bit. So first off, what I'm wearing, I'll have to look because it's an oldie and a goodie. This was a test knit, maybe one of my first test knits. It is the Notting Hill, no the. When you look it up on Ravelry, it'll be Notting Hill. And it is a free download right now. I knit this in Plucky. I think it was, so Plucky yarn is, I don't know if it's still a company that's out there, but it was beautiful yarn and beautiful bases, and this is the Beauregard base. I was again trying to use stash, so I think I like this kind of the oatmeal color to be a little lighter, but it's fun with a pop of orange. Super fast knit, super fun to wear. Yeah, highly recommend it. All right, I wanted to let you know that you can also find me on Instagram at Colorado Knitter and on Ravelry Colorado 5 Knitter. Let's just get started. We had a great couple weeks. We did have a little adventure to Priest Lake, Idaho, which I posted a little bit on Instagram about that. We try to go at least every couple of years because it's quite the treat and a beautiful place. What I worked on the way, you would think we drove, and it's a long way. It's about 17 plus hours, and I didn't finish that much, but it was a wonderful trip and a wonderful safe drive, so that was all great. What I did end up finishing when I came home is my super simple summer sweater. This is by Joji Locatelli, and this is in the Mungo yarn. It's exactly the colors that she used in her design. I had pulled this out of my whip basket, which is full because I get distracted. And I had stopped, I don't know why, but I had stopped when I had divided for the sleeves. And so I gave this some good attention to finish. I finished the body in probably a day and a half. And then the sleeves took a little bit longer, so I did work on the sleeves longer, but I just had it on, so it's kind of inside out. But I really enjoy this. It has a little split hem. It's top down, but the yarn is different. Let's see. This is the Mungo yarn, and it's by Retrosario El Pomar. No, that's not how you say that at all. Retrosario Rosa Pomar, and it is from Portugal as far as the company goes. And Mungo yarn's base is wool and cotton. It is a recycled wool and cotton yarn. It's a little scratchy, which is kind of different to say because you wouldn't think the wool and cotton combo would be. It could be that it was pretty hot yesterday when I was taking pictures of it, and it kind of felt prickly right here, similar to kind of how linen quill can feel a little prickly. So I wonder if either it was too warm to be wearing this or if I need a longer soak, but it was enjoyable to work with. I could feel that it was a little bit cottony. Again, strange to have that little prickle, but I think it is crisp yarn as far as it looks really beautiful with the stripes and the stitch definition. The joins, the jogless joins in the back for each stripe looks pretty clean. And I haven't even sewn in all the I sewed some that showed out of my sleeve and hem and neck, but the rest are fine. But they don't even show up when you do the jog, when you notice the jog line. Maybe a little bit there where you can make it a little cleaner. But very enjoyable. Don't know why I put it down in the first place. But I'm super glad that's done, because I would throw this on all the time, I think. I would take it everywhere. I could have it as a layer. It's like a sweatshirt sort of shape. It's great. So again, super simple summer sweater by Joji Locatelli. The other thing I finished, again, when I got home, was my test knit for Briana Arlene. I think she's gonna call this the Paintbrush Tank or something like that. It'll release more towards the middle of August. It's August 1st, y'all. That's crazy. So it'll be more in the middle of the month, but this is the tank, and I actually really like it as a vest. So I tried it on when it's a bottom up construction. And so you start at the bottom with the ribbing and then the color work. And some of the test knitters have some great color combinations. They're quite beautiful. And then you then divide the sleeves, and you don't have to pick up any of the armhole stitches because she includes the ribbing while you're doing the front and back flat. The back is a little higher. And then you pick up the neckline. And what I ended up doing was I did a few modifications that will be on Ravelry once it's released. But I did change this top part for myself because I'm quite short. And so I also wanted to wear it more like a vest. So I didn't make it as narrow and as tall on the tank portion right here. But very easily changed if you wanted to do that. But this is in linen quill, dark denim and oat, I think, for the bottom. But as per usual, it's a great yarn and a great workhorse for me. Okay, so those are two things I finished. I didn't finish anything else, and I definitely picked up lots of random things and worked on them a little bit here and there. So the rest of the show, I'll show you some of the things that I did pick up and work on a little bit, but there's not much progress. Again, when I was cleaning out stash and looking at my whips before we left, I did find this gem. This is, let's see, what is this called? When I try to look for it, I just look up Myak scarf. But a while back, this scarf, it's called From Me With Love, was a free pattern when you purchased the yarn. So you kind of got the kit and with the pattern, with a beautiful box. And I gave the box to my mom because it was really beautiful. But let's see, From Me With Love scarf is, I had, again, in my whips, probably done maybe even less to here. So just this portion. So I had it sitting in my basket on needles, just this part. And so I thought it would be a really easy thing to have in the car because you don't really have to think. It's only an increase on the right side row at the end. So you only increase this side as you go, and the rest is knit and purl. Super light and thin little balls of yarn, so it was easy to take along. And I did work on this quite a bit in the car, so much so that I think I'm getting close to the end. I thought it would be really cute. Oh, it's over there. Should I get it? I'll get it. Let's hope I don't drop everything. So I thought it would be super cute if I did it on, like if I have a tote, maybe a tote from Flock or a tote from Rhinebeck. When I'm carrying it around, I mean, a lot of people have the same cute tote. So I thought it would be cool to have like your little scarf here so you know this is your tote if you happen to put it down. And then of course it's adorable as a little headbands. And so the options are endless, and I thought with a cute little white blouse you could wear it here. So I think it's really fun, and it actually matches my flock t-shirt, so maybe I'll bind off and wear this at flock. At least it'll be on my back. As far as this pattern goes, again, it's super simple. Again, no clue why I put it down. I actually feel like I remember myself getting confused on the increases, which I don't know how that happens sometimes, where you get confused on such simple things, but I probably wasn't working on just one thing at the time. But I love the colors. It's like a purple and a orange, and it just kind of blends like a little bandana. So super cute. Let's see, what yarn is it? I'm gonna look at the pattern because I do not have the bands anymore. It was a long time ago. Long time ago. Our service has been a little tricky. Let's see if it'll tell me. Myak scarf. I will link the things below. Sometimes if our service is not great, like our Wi-Fi service, it takes me a minute to update the show notes, but I will do my best and get them out there as soon as I can. Let's see. I could probably just, yeah, it's not going to work for me right now, but I will link it below as far as the yarns that are used in this. I think it's like a silk and something, but it's beautiful, as all of my Myak yarn is so beautiful. All right, so I've been working on this. I've been actually picking it up often for the Olympics as well. So we've been watching the Paris prime time at night for all the Olympic highlights and a replay of them. And so I've been picking this up when I'm doing that. And I seriously think I have a few more stripes, and then I'm gonna bind off. Oh, the interesting thing in the pattern is this pattern recommends soaking it for over an hour. It has to do with the fiber content, which again, I'll put up here or I'll link below. But I thought that was interesting. I said it so it really softens up. But I'm excited for this. It'll be just fun to have all the time. Okay, what else have I been working on? Let's see. I'll start with the road trip. So I tried real hard. I knit this is the garden cardigan, and this is what we plan to use at Rhinebeck. Again, I kind of like it for something to go over, maybe show t-shirts or just anything, but it'll be very, very useful. But I tried to work on the body like the entire first day of our drive. This is all I worked on because it was an easy pattern to memorize. I think it's just a 4-row repeat. And I had just, before we left, I had maybe an inch under the arm done. So, I mean, it's a good amount under the arm, but wow, it's taken a while. And so I have probably another 6 inches at least of length to go. So I got it. Maybe once I finish that Myak scarf, I will put this by my chair when we watch the Olympics to do some more of that body. But it's gonna be super cozy. It's gonna be awesome once it's done, but it's taking a while for me to get the body done. It's great because the front ribbing is included. You don't have to pick that up afterwards. And this is in Purl SoHo's Good Wool. I think I feel like I called it walking stick one time, but it's hickory, I think, the color. But Purl SoHo Linen, or I usually use linen quill. Purl SoHo Good Wool is very lovely. All right, and that was the whole time in my, I think it's the 3 or the 8 bigger. This is my Hide and Hammer bag. I think it's it's a newer one because these come off, so if you ever wanted to wash it. I have an older version which it's more grommet on there, so they don't come off. But this way you can wash it if you needed to, because the leather parts come off. But Hide and Hammer is always one of my favorite bags to travel with. You can just go as small as you need, and then you can I always strap it to either an armchair or my bag or my wrist, things like that. But that's the garden cardigan, which I did pick up and work on, but it's a slow one for me. Again, just talking about what I took on our trip and worked on a bit. I think I finished this before we left. This is the Woolens and Nosh sock. I don't know what month it is. It's beautiful though. And then this is my second one. But what happened was we got to see some friends there that we went to college with, and their little girls were making bracelets, which is this guy right here. And they make it with looping, the yarn, but they ran out of yarn. So I actually gave them the brown mini, and I gave them a teal, this color one, from the most recent Woolens and Nosh. And so I will try to find a little bit of brown in my stash. I might even just go completely opposite, like a totally different color. So no big deal, just for heels and toes, I'll change that one up. What else did I work on? I think that's all, which is a lot, that I worked on while we were away. When I came back, I finished those 2 items and then got very distracted with all the beautiful things that have been popping up on Ravelry and Instagram, and digging in my stash and looking around and getting excited about projects. So I did pick up and work on the Clint Shawl by Moondrake Knits, Natasha Hornby. I'm using Lichen and Lace Rustic Sport, which I love that yarn. And so I did use that yarn for an Alicia Plummer test knit shawl. And this one kind of has the same vibe where it's like a quilt. Like a quilt star like this. And then so I picked it up. I had done a little bit before that I showed, and this is where I'm at right now. And so I love it. So the next row I actually pick up here to continue that motif in the middle. So each time you do the whole row, and then you move over and do another row. There's been a lot of tinking back for me and frogging back because I miscount the stitches to pick up or something, or I am doing the wrong section, or I'm picking up against the wrong corner. But now I think I see it better and have a good plan. But this will be the very back of the shawl. It might go, yeah, it might go this way, where this slanted portion is the bottom. But it's very cool. I'm very happy with the 3 colors I'm using. I think it's coal, birch, snow, and I don't know that one, but I will link it. I'll try to link it below. I might have mentioned it in the last one too. But very fun. It's slow going for me, again, because there's a lot of time I go backwards, but I feel like I'm committed because I think I really like the colors, and I think it's a very crisp design. It's just very cool. It's a work of art. All right, so before I left, I signed up for a test knit by a designer that's new to me. Let me look so I say her name correctly. Tressa Weidenaar, and I think she goes by Blue Water Designs, I think. No, that's a test knit name. Blue Blue Water Sweater, I think is what she's gonna go with for the name. Is that right? Can you tell I'm lost? Let's see. No, I think the top is gonna be Painted Desert Sweater, and I think she is Blue Water Designs. But again, new to me designer, has beautiful designs out there already. I'm pretty excited about this test knit. It's a textured pullover from the top down. And I have it started here. I am using, and the designer used Pushkun from The Farmer's Daughter. And I had this, believe it or not, in my stash for a sweater that I think came out in either Pom Pom or Laine. But it was a beautiful sweater with a beautiful color. And so I had this in my stash, Pushkun DK. And it's 100% Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. And this is the color Buffalo Gal. And it's just a beautiful color. And there's a time in my knitting that I mostly was knitting with this color. Like everything I knit, I felt like was this dusty rose. And then, so some of my closet, I noticed that I had like 4 of the same color. And now I'm like 4 in the navy blue. So it's weird how you can kind of have these clumps of time where you really love either a design style or a color. But this was definitely a time where I was knitting mostly this rose color. But this is just the neckline, and again it's charted with this beautiful texture that goes down the yoke, which is kind of great for Pushkun because it's a little bit, it's very soft. I would not say it's a rustic feeling or crisp yarn in the sense that it's not, there's no prickle or anything to it, but it almost looks like the way that it's spun, it's not super even, I guess, which makes a cool yarn for texture, I think. These are indie dyed, and so I will probably start alternating the skeins. At first I wanted to do helical knitting, but in the yoke with a pattern and texture, I don't think I can figure it out. And so I'm just going to alternate in the beginning, and then I'll do helical knitting once I'm in the stockinette of the body. But this is beautiful. I'm excited for this. It's on, I think, a 7 needle, so it should go pretty quick. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I can imagine wearing this a lot in the summer, or wow, not in the summer, in the winter. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna show you is my craziness. So Andrea Mowry came out with her Rhinebeck sweater, and last year I think the sweater was framed, and I wasn't in love at first sight. It was like, oh, that's interesting and cool. Then it's something about her patterns that I tend to just think about, even beyond the initial hype of it, and I start thinking of combos, and maybe combos that would suit me more than how it is originally displayed with the colors that are chosen by others or by Andrea Mowry herself. And so I did cast on tessellated last year, and I have the whole body, and that's it. But it took me a while to like get into that idea of knitting it. And this is the same for framed. I mean, it's not been out for a long time, but I still didn't, I was like, no, in the beginning. And now I've cast on. I won't be doing it for Rhinebeck necessarily. I just wanted to play with the yarns, and the same, I kind of like if you're trying a new pen to doodle, I want to try my yarns I have to doodle knit and see what it could look like. So I tried it in kind of a muted blue, and I've tried it in a tweedy blue, and I've tried it with low contrast, and I tried a high contrast. And then I started, again, I was cleaning stash and kind of looking at my whips and things, and I found lots of goodies. I found a Moondrake, which I'm super spoiled. I have beautiful yarn stash that I oftentimes what I'll do is I'll see a project, buy for the project, and then I knit something totally different instead. But I try not to buy without a project in mind, but oftentimes I change my mind what I do. So I had Moondrake for a scarf by, what was that scarf called? Like, it was a Le Garçon scarf, and it was, Moondrake. What I'm doing now is I'm looking up on Rabbit, which is on my phone, and it's not working. But I had bought a scarf, kind of a kit for this scarf, and I will put it here because I don't want to take your time by just looking up stuff. But I have Moondrake yarn, and this is the Fuwa in sand, and I had, I think, 4 of them, again, initially to do a scarf that has like a I-cord color row every now and then, and this was not what I had with it, but I have had this yarn from an old idea of knitting a Caitlin Hunter colorwork sweater, and this one is Spincycle Dream State, which is more of that worsted weight, and it's Stay Ready, and I had 3 of these, again, for a colorwork sweater, so hopefully I'm got plenty for the end of this. And so then I saw these 2, and then I had this again for a scarf, which the reality is I'm not gonna have enough focus to knit a scarf, first of all, because I have major squirrel moments where I get distracted, but I had this, so it looks pretty beautiful with this. And this is Dimond Laine. I have 3 of those as well. Again, for a scarf that I'll never make or stay focused enough to do it. And this is Fingering Weight Merino Cashmere, so it's gorgeous. And it's in the color Cookie. And this is Dimond Laine. I mean, 3 gorgeous yarns sitting in stash. And so when I was taking a walk with Moose, I thought of that combo. And it kind of looks like this vibe, and I think I'm gonna like it. So like I said, I had swatched with blues and light blues, and then a blue and a purple, and I knew that I wanted my frame to have the same color in the band and the neckline as the contrast, one of the contrast colors in the body. And so let's see what's a good spot to show. And it feels thick, and it's on gauge, but it's gonna be a cozy thick. I went with a size 3 because I kind of want it to be a real big slouchy sort of sweater. I actually thought about going over the 4, but I don't think I have enough yarn for that. But this is the beginning of that motif, the quilt motif that's so popular right now. And so it has, honestly, when it first came out, I didn't even see the quilt motifs in it. I probably would have adored it if I had seen that, but when I see more people doing it in more of a high contrast or less variegated colors, I noticed that, oh, it is the quilt motif. So it's 1 and 1 within the repeat, and you alternate which is the background color on each. But I hadn't really seen it before. So it will be interesting when I get to these light colors, how I feel about it. But I still kind of picture this with jeans and my boots and just a real cozy, I mean, the softness is next level sweater. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if I think the colors they suit me or not, but right now I'm pretty excited about it because I really love these two together. I feel like that is just a beautiful combo. And I'll wear that way more than a scarf. But that's been fun. That's what I've been doing. All these amazing things with amazing yarn. Let's see if I have any notes. I didn't even look at my notes, not one time. Let's see. So I finished the tank. I finished Super Simple. I told you what I worked on the drive and the trip. Briana Arlene pattern. Oh, her pattern, it was really cool because I felt like it was a different neck for me. So the decreases were creating this slope versus kind of a real abrupt squared off because you were picking up this nice curve. And so that was slope neck shaping, and she had a link directing you to a YouTube kind of informational episode, I guess, to talk about the difference of slope neck shaping, which was cool. I always like to learn new stuff. Showed you my flock bag, and this flock bag is pretty amazing. It's huge, first of all, humongous, and then it has a zipper. Like, that's awesome to keep everything secure, and then a little pocket if you have a phone or you bought any small things. But the flock bag is beautiful. Oh, speaking of flock, I could talk to you a little bit about how excited I am. But I get to go, and it's actually next week already, which is crazy awesome. I get a little nervous. I definitely get a little nervous, but I'm excited. I printed off the map and I got it all like marked up, and how cool is that? So many amazing things. So on flockfiberfestival.com, you can check out some of the vendors, and it has like links, so you can go straight to their websites, which is fun too. Moondrake will be there. Let's see. I really kind of am interested in seeing a lot of them, but Handspun Hope looked really cool, so I might look at that. Hello Lavender, which is the beautiful stitch markers that I love. There's even one on here. And then, oh, Junebug Darling, which is an embroidery company. Let's see. So it's like, this is what I have started here, which maybe I'll show you sometime when I get a little farther. I've worked on it, but it's an embroidery kit that shows the word knitter. So I'm excited to look at that. Embroider or cross stitch, maybe both. I think they have both. La Mercerie will be there because that's who organized the whole flock fiber and the founder of Flock Fiber Festival. I wouldn't mind looking at the different colors of Knitting for Olive if she has them in her booth there. Let's see what else I have down here. I do hope to my goal is to only look at superwash. Oh, wow. Not look at superwash. I have quite a good stash of superwash, and a lot of my sock yarns are superwash, but my hope is to look at more woolly wools, and like the San Juan Wool Works is there, and Skagit Woolen Works. Again, more of the woolly and local yarns. I kind of want to look at sport mostly. We'll see. I'm sure I will just be crazy. I don't have a huge plan as far as what I want to buy, which is dangerous, so I need to make a plan. I do think I want to look for yarn for this one summer top. Let's see if our internet is working yet. But there's, let's see, what is that? Favorites. This top caught my eye. Of course, I'm not gonna be able to find it. I did take a picture of it on my iPad, which is what I'm recording on. So I will post it there, post it right here, and I'll stop looking and scrolling. But I wouldn't mind looking for a yarn for this beautiful top. And then only getting with something in mind. So we'll see how that goes. Oftentimes I have bought yarn online, and so it'll be really nice to see the colors in person. Yeah, I'm excited. Let's see. I'm also, so the first morning, so 10 to 12 is masked, and then beyond that is no masks in the marketplace. And then, so from 2 to 5 or 4, I get to take a class with makers, anatomy, the knitting PT, and then I get to go to the rooftop at the flock, something like that. And so I'm excited for that. Again, a little shy and nervous, but I looking forward to meeting people and seeing real life faces. It'll be awesome. And then the next day I'm doing the little volunteer work from 10 to 12. I'll be a wool winder and rover. And again, on Sunday it's masked from 10 to 12. And then take my last class and we'll be off. And it'll go in a flash, I'm sure, but it'll be wonderful. And I'm excited to share how it went and what it was like for me, for all of you. Let's see. I think that's it for that. Again, look at all the red marks. I'm sure I'm just going to wander around in awe. Let's see what else my notes say. That's it. The last thing I wanted to say is that I'm not gifted at names, and so I often will stumble or worry that I'm saying the wrong name, even if maybe that's the right name. So I remember faces, but names I'm terrible at. So if I need to ask you guys more than once, I'm sorry, but it is my issue, my problem. It is nothing against anyone else. It's just not my gift. And so I'm really excited to see folks and meet folks. But if I mess up on names, I'm so sorry. And mine's hard to say, so that gives you an out because Madi is not easy to say. But I hope you guys have a great week. I probably will chime in after flock, and I will see y'all soon. See ya.